And I can start to talk.
When I do like that, you can just.
Hmm?
When I do like that, you can start. Okay,
Oh.
Monte, we're set. Okay.
Well, this was a beautiful town.
You gotta tell me Aliquippa, remember?
Aliquippa, beautiful town. It had everybody was lit downtown, and when I come through there, I come on, got off the plane, off the train. See, the train was running through here then, and man, I look at the folks. Ooh, boy, everybody was working, and I come up here on the hill where I come to. I met a lady and her two children at the station, and I come up to here. She brought me up on the hill here, and I was pretty dumb, you know. About I had never left home, and it was just a wonderful thing.
Okay. Now, you began working at J&L in 1937. Tell me what your job was.
So 37, it was in April. I started as a laborer, getting coal, shelving coke, shelving tar, shelving salt. Then I went on, after that, I went on the battery. When I went on the battery, I was a coke guide man. I was a coke guide man for a pretty good while. Then I went from a coke guide man to a dough jam man. Then from a dough jam man to a dough machine man.
Now, describe the working conditions. What was the work like?
Well, the work was like, see, it was a oven, and it was built, and it was built tall, and they poured the coal in the oven, and they cooked the coal up, cook it till it get cooked. Then they'll push it out in a hot car. Then they carry the hot car to the wall. From the wall to the coal handling. That'll be loading in the car.
Now, was it hot? Was it dangerous? Was it dirty work? Describe the work for me.
Oh man, that's the hardest job I ever worked on. And then, you know, that was a hard job, but I learned it and liked it. It was hot, all of it, and it was dangerous too. Yeah, and one fella got killed on the job. A guy didn't let his ram back far enough and hit the mud buggy. The mud buggy, you looted the doors in. Mud them, you shooting. It's about, the doors about pretty close to 12 foot. Okay. You had to climb up and down. Okay. You had an elevator on the machine, going up and down, you do this. And when that...
okay, we need to stop because of the airplane. And we're set.
And why it was dangerous, see the top of it, where they poured the coal in there. They had lead on there. And you had to, and if you step on one of them lead, you allowed to get burned up just like that. See, that's the dangerous part of it. That's one. Then you had to be careful and on not to walk. You can walk up and down there. They walk with wooden shoes all the time, and kept it clean. But it was awful hot. And see, the hot car man, the Larry car man, and the pusher man, all of them worked together. In other words, it was a teamwork. It took teamwork to operate that and make coke. Took teamwork.
Now, Was it hard to breathe? And
Well, you had to have yeah, I had a mask on. I had a mask on, and I had goggles on, and then you had them hot shields like in front of you. It was hot when you, and when you take one of them doors off, you had you stand on this side and clean it off. Then the other guy, you had two men to do that, one on one side and one on the other, to clean them off. And then the man would operate the machine to pick the door up, swing it around. Then he could move away. Then you had a coat rack. You set it in there, you run it in just like that, and that's the way you put it on and take it off.
now, when we talked on the telephone, you told me about how certain ethnic groups, particularly black people, ended up with most of the hard jobs. Can you tell me that again?
Yeah, at the begin with, the
Okay, we have to
making
stop
coke.
again. There's an airplane. Okay.
Well, the black people did all the hard jobs, all of them. And let me see, I tell you how many white jobbers. There's a heater and helper. That was the only, and that was a white job. Now all the other jobs, now them that was the easy and the not dangerous job, but wasn't no pressure on him when he grew up on the top of the oven. There wasn't no pressure on him. But only thing he was do just walk around and take tests. But when I go up there, I got to sweep, I got to push the lid on, I got to take it off, I got to and if you block one of them, that blade to jump up like that, it'll blow you off of that. And when that's on the top of the oven. Now on the pusher side and the coke, all of them had to work together. All of them had to be in a unit. It wasn't now on the pusher. When I first went there, they had mostly was foreigners on the pusher. That was white. Now when a fella named when I got a little bit old for coming to asking these questions, see, because I know his name, but I can't call it right then.
Okay, well, you don't have to tell me his name. Just tell me the story.
This year was an Italian fella. He taught the fellows from down in Virginia, all down in North, wherever they come from, white. He taught them how to eat. When he got his time come to eat, they wouldn't give it to him. They did him just like they did us. Let me see how long now it took us before we could go all the way, get heater helping job. It was I had done been there about 28 years before I could move up to a heater helper, a heater.
Okay. Now tell me about how J&L sort of dominated the town. You know, I want you to tell me about J&L's relationship with the police, and tell me about the plans that existed in terms of where people lived.
Well, the plant, this year's Plant 11 extension here. No, this year's Plant 11. Where I am, I'm on the extension. Well, there was a whole lot, that's the foreign peoples and the Negroes was up here in these two plants. And down in Logstown, it was foreign and Negroes in that plant. Now, down in 8, 12, and Plant 12, Plant 8, Plant 6, you couldn't go, I couldn't go up there. You and I couldn't go up there. They wasn't
What
allowed.
would happen to you if you went to a plan where you didn't live?
Or I don't anything. I don't know what all would happen. Yeah. Well, I know they didn't allow you there. No, you weren't allowed there. They wasn't allowed there. Now, that was you want to, but all the plans now is you can get it. You can live in there one of them.
Okay, but don't tell me about now. You got to keep me back in the 30s, okay?
Back in the 30s or
Yeah.
back
Now
in the
tell
30s.
me why did they have these plans? Why did they do the town like that? Why did they divide it up that way?
Well, they had white job. They called American people Englishmen. That was a white job. The other job was hunky job. Other job was a Negro job. Yeah. Now they didn't want you to do the scale job. Don't care if you know it. If you could do it, they didn't want you on it. They don't care what. Now take the carpenters.
Okay, we're out of film. We have to change. Remember I told you every 11 minutes?
Mm-hmm. I joined just a little bit before the big strike, the first one. The first one that was a bad one. And when the strike was, I stayed in. And when I come home, my sister-in-law told me, said, "Don't talk, don't talk, don't talk, don't talk." You know, a lot of stool pigeons in the town. What you call stool pigeons? They're the people there. They could tell everything the other people's done. What they had them when that didn't last too long because when election come, all of those people were put out. See. Them bad folks, like, let me see what this young guy, your name, he was a chief police.
Captain Mark?
Captain Mark, yeah. Yeah, Mark, oh boy. Then they had, up there, he stayed up in the, when you go in to work, he had a big office up there. Then after they put them all out, I see them down there working in the labor in the town, working on the labor job.
Okay, but the story I wanted you to tell me is what you told me back in the kitchen about how when you first joined the union and you asked them if they could protect you, and you said no, you gave them 50 cents or whatever, then you went and joined the other union. I want you to tell me that over again, okay?
Oh, you want to go over that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I joined both of you. I joined the 25 cents union, the first.
Can you tell me the amalgamated? I joined the amalgamated. Can you tell me that?
Yeah, I won't tell you both of them.
Okay. Yeah, I want you to call it the amalgamated.
No, this here was a CIO. The first one was a CIO.
Let's stop for a second. Okay.
When I went and joined the company union, and why I went to join the company union, they had a lot of the colored people was joining. They wasn't joining the CIO, and I went and joined the company union. I get them a quarter. And I asked this man, I said, now, if I lose my job without a cause, would you save it for me? He said, all depend. He didn't say he could and didn't say he couldn't. But I didn't take a chance. I went to the union, I talked with them, and I told them, I asked them, would they save it? He said, we'll go all the way. And they did go all the way. They fired me, but I, Lord, didn't lose no time. They fired me on a Sunday morning, about 12 o'clock. I told the man he had to give me a spare man. He said, if you don't give me a spare man, I'm going home. Now, he said, no. I said, well, I'm going home. He said, if you go home, I'm going to fire you. I said, well, you just got to go to fire him. I'm going. I can't do it like this. I got to have a spare man. All right, that happened. I come home that Sunday evening. The Monday morning, I goes down to the office, the union office, and I was talking to the secretary, finance secretary, and the president. And they was telling me, said, well, we going down there and talk with them. Well, we went down there and I talked. We won the case. I got my spare man on my side of the job, but the other man on the other side of the job, he didn't get nothing.
Okay. Now, I need for you to tell me, for you to just say, before you told me the story and it was really good, you said you went to the union. I need for you to tell me I went to the CIO as opposed to the union so that people will understand which union we're talking about. And then I can edit it in later. Can you just tell me that I went to the CIO?
Yeah, I went to the CIO, and they told me we'll go all the way. We'll go just as long as if it had to go to the Supreme Court. Yeah, they would go all the way.
Okay, good. Now, can you tell me what FDR meant to the steel workers?
Who?
Roosevelt.
The greatest man ever lived.
You have to tell me his name.
President Roosevelt, the greatest man ever lived. He opened up everything. I remember one day we were going to work, and I heard him say, "You can fire my people and lay them off, but I'll tax your concern and feed them." I heard him say that. I heard that on the radio. Boy, that man, you know one thing? If he wasn't, I wouldn't be living like I'm living if it wasn't for that man. That man ain't a president in this country, never was you can call all of them, Lincoln and Washington and all of them, none of them wasn't as good as he was.
Okay, why do you say that? Tell me why you say he was.
He fixes where he told the people.
You got to tell me his name again.
Talking about President Roosevelt?
Yeah.
President told the people they got to join the union. He's the man called the union to come. How come they killed so many people down there? They wouldn't lock them out. And this man told when the company comes to laying them off, and he says, "I'm gonna tax your concern and feed my people." Oh man, that man, I can't mention what he is. I can't mention. I don't know what I don't know words. I don't know the words to say what a great man that was. And I tell you another one right behind him, Truman.
Okay, but that's out of time. So I know Mr. Truman was a great man, but we really can't use that for the show. Now, tell me a little bit more about these company spies, these stool pigeons.
Don't tell me they stool pigeons?
Yeah.
Man, it was a gang of stool pigeons in this town. I come up here and I wanted to bring my wife up. And I was working on the job, and I told the boss I wanted to be off to go to meet my wife to come to meet her. She had to go from here to Pittsburgh to meet her. She come in on the B&O. And I said, I want to be off so I can go get my wife. He said, what they having up on the hill? I said, I don't know nothing about what they having on the hill, what they doing up there. I said, I don't know nothing about that. I said, what are you talking about? What do you mean about it? Well, I said, I want to go get my wife. Now, and he said, okay, then after I told him, I said, I don't know what the other folk do. And I got to tell you about what they thought, all over that way down the line there. Did you get Roy Dye in there? You don't know nothing about Roy Dye. Well, I can tell you that you said I couldn't talk about nothing after the war or while the war was going on.
Okay, let's stop for a second. How much we got? And take it away.
The byproduct was a Georgia chain gang. Now, we went up. When you worked there, you didn't have no spell. I didn't have no lunch hour. You had to eat. You had to make your own lunch hour. You push so many ovens an hour, and we had done pushed so many ovens. We were sitting back there eating, and Bill Hall, that was the big boss. He come up there, and I looked and seen them fellas running. So there come Hall. And I looked, I said, look at here. And I still sat. I didn't run. Well, I wasn't scared. So I said, how come y'all run? You see Hall, Bill Hall? Yeah, now, you couldn't, you got to be on the job. You got to eat the salmon with your hand. You got to keep it going. Yeah, man. Then them same fellas, they'd run and tell Bill Hall everything. Tell Ball, tell what up there, whatever you do, they'd tell him. Whatever happened over on the hill, yeah, they would tell him. Through pigeon.
Then what would Bill Hall do? I mean, how did he talk to you? How did he treat people?
Well, see, he talked to some of them bad, but he didn't talk to me bad. But me and him got the one to come up to one that was his cousin ever was. Yeah. Yeah, me and we had some awful time, me and Bill Hall did. Yeah.
Now, are we out?
Yes.
Okay. We're getting there. We're almost finished. This will be the last. You don't have to even tell me the guy's name. You can just tell me there was this guy that was working 3 jobs and whatever.
Well, yeah, he
Wait a minute. Anytime. Go.
he was Luderman. Then the dough machine man had to go to the toilet. Then he was operating. He was looting and running the dough machine. That's 2 jobs. And all right, they had carbon in the oven. Then the boss and the heater helper come up and told. Then the boss told him to get the jam bar and go to cut the carbon out of there. And he told the boss that he couldn't do both of all that. He said, I'm a Luderman. I'm not the dough machine man. And they fired him. Fired him on doing that because he told them that. And I told him, I said, why don't you join the union? No, he went, instead of going to the union, he went up to the main office. And they just ignored him up there. They didn't do nothing for him. I told him, I said, now, how come you don't join the union? They'll come down here and fight your case for you. But he wouldn't do it. And he got fired. And when they got ready to fire me, I was ready for him. Yeah, I was ready for him.
Okay. Now, tell me about the Republicans out in Aliquippa. You know, when you went to get your job at J&L, did they ask you about political party?
No, wait now. That's who I got a job with. The one that stool pigeons. They, I got the job, you know. I see you got to learn. I learned how to get in good side with all of them, and I got the job, and I worked 8 months, and I got laid off. I was laid off 11 months. I come back, and no, after that, the year now, that was 1939. I had, at that time, they just had done down in Pennsylvania, they had workman conversation. Now, I got workman conversation for 13 weeks. You know what I got a week?
What?
$12. That was in 1939. Yeah. I got drawed all of that, and then I went back to work. I got a job on the WPA here.
Okay. Let me ask you something else now. When you think about the union, you know, about the organizing and all of the strikes and the violence and the firings and all of that, do you think it was worth it?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me why it was worth it.
Why it was worth it, all right, when I started to work out there, 62 and a half cents an hour. That's the first job. Practically all of the labor class of people that was done there. And as the union as the progress, every contract, you would get a little bit more money every time a contract come. And
okay, so it was the money is what made it worth it. That you get
yeah, sure.
Now let me ask you something else.
What?
In terms of the way races got along within the union, the blacks, the whites, the Croatians, the Serbs, the Italians, did everybody get along, or was there any discrimination within the union?
No, not too much. You know, they would fight for. I know. I didn't never drink none. I never did drink none. I know. I was with. Man, I can't call the man's name. we were coming up there. They're gonna go in. Well, now all the beer garden was down on Franklin Avenue. They was Jim Crow. Yeah, didn't lie to me. And the Blue Bell down there, where we go down there, that's where they stop in and get a cup of coffee. White man can go in there, but me,
Okay. Let me ask you one last question. Now, all of this happened during the Depression. You started at the end of the Depression, you went through the Depression and so forth.
I wasn't here during the Depression.
Well, wherever you were during the Depression. Did the Depression change you?
Yeah, wait a minute. I can tell you where I came from, and I'll tell you what they done to me.
No, that's okay. I just want to know. I'm not, let's stop for a second. I'm not asking